Well, if you didn't know, like we're doing these like 4 at a time, like on one day, once a month.
I know, but still, I ate. Like I shouldn't be grumpy. I was like, oh no.
Awesome. All right. Well, welcome back to another episode of 805 Life Podcast. I'm Sergio Gonzalez with SG Associates and my lovely co-host here, Courtney Allen.
What is up?
And we are pulling back the curtain of all things real estate, myths and truths here in the 805 and beyond. And let's get to it today.
Today, we are going to talk about what to do when your listing isn't selling. What do you do? What happens? Like,
Yeah.
Why? Why?
You know, there's oftentimes there's a few reasons why a listing is not selling. Mm-hmm. A lot of times it's presentation, right? So just like anything else that consumers are buying, right? Like its presentation is everything. Mm-hmm. Like when you go to the mall and you see the mannequins, right? It looks very different on the mannequin than it does on the rack.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's got all the shirt or the dress, the blouse, the pants, the shoes, the socks, the sunglasses, the hat,
the style.
It looks complete, right? And so people don't sometimes think that's what needs to happen at a house.
Right.
Right? And I think that's where the staging comes into play, right? Some people are just like, well, it's my stuff. Like,
right.
If they don't like it, they can change it. They're going to put their own stuff. No, this is retail. You got to put on your retail, glasses, and your house now is retail. Right. So you have to fix up the curb appeal. You have to do a little dressing up inside, right? In staging and furniture and, art on the wall and lighting. It all matters. You want a retail price. Your house needs to look retail. So I think that's probably one of the very first reasons why your house is probably not selling. It doesn't look retail and you're asking retail price. Right. And what do the photos look like? Because again, the first showing is not on the ground, it's online, right? Everyone's got their phones and they're just swiping through like Match.com.
Yeah,
right?
That's exactly it.
Some of those people are on Tinder, they're just like swiping, right? And they're like, good, nope, wait, 10.
That's literally Tinder, literally.
Right? Could be, and that's literally what's happening. So if your first photo that is what I call the money shot, right? Like that has to be captivating. It can't look with like every other picture that is on that feed when you're on realtor.com or Zillow or wherever you're looking, right? An agent's website. It needs to be like, boom, wow, look at that. Look at the sky. Look at the sunset. Look at the lighting. Look at the curb appeal. Look at the trees, the flowers, like the view, whatever is the selling point of that house, that needs to be your money shot. To stop that person of like, wait, that one looks pretty cool. What else does it have?
Right. I mean, the photos that you have for your houses and the videos, thanks to Will as well, they are stunning.
Yes.
Like you see it and you're like, oh, I want to look at that.
Right. And so it stops them in their track. I got to get them to stop swiping. That's goal, right? Got to get them to stop swiping, click, and then continue to look at the rest of the photos. So lighting, the editing of the photos needs to be on point. So, we use professional photographers, where they've been featured in Architectural Digest. They've been featured on Forbes. They've been featured on the Wall Street Journal. Like the caliber of photos is instrumental in what you're selling.
Right.
Because vision drives decision. And if you cannot paint a vision of them living in that house, you're not going to get them to make a decision. So one of the things I live by is vision drives decision. So my marketing has to drive a vision that's going to drive a decision, which is pick up the phone, send me a text, send me an email, call me to make an appointment to show the house.
Right.
So photography is really important. And so you have to look at like, what does that look like? Are they in an order also?
Right.
That is painting that vision, giving them a vision of how they walk into the house. And how does it flow? Or are they just random, right? Like you're swiping through, you're like, okay, that's the kitchen, obviously. But which bathroom is this? Is this the master bathroom? Is this a guest bathroom? Is this the powder bathroom? Like, where is this? Right? Which bedroom is this? Which way does it face? Is it upstairs or is it downstairs? I can't tell.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're already creating confusion for the buyer before they even get there. And they're like, you know what? Just forget it. Like, just keep going. And so we put the order of our pictures in a very specific way, right? From money shot exterior, coming into the door, formal living, formal dining, family room, powder room, kitchen, picture of the stairs, so they know I'm going upstairs.
That makes sense.
Right? Like there's a formula to this. So I'm painting the vision so it drives a decision to get them to make an appointment. So, and then we also, of course, do floor plans. I think a lot of people have really complimented us on putting together floor plans so they can, again, visualize where things are located.
Right.
We put measurements of the areas and the spaces because some people are making decisions on, well, does my piano fit? Does my dining table fit?
Oh, yeah. Right? My piano.
Yeah, right? They're like, they're making literally decisions. I had a buyer one time say, I'm making a decision buying my house based on, does my piano fit?
I mean, I would do that.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and it can't face the window because, light and this, and it has to
be a certain
5
place
feet from, the wall.
Yep.
And I'm like, holy smoke. So I basically, every time I had to get the measurements of the house, of the living room, and like, okay, where does the window sit? Which way does it face? How far? And the first thing we walk in, boom, piano's going here. Right? Like, just factoring all that in. So buyers are making decisions for very specific reasons. And so I have to be able to give as many options and paint a picture and a vision for them that helps them make the decision.
Interesting. What if you have the layout, you've done the photos, they're beautiful, but what if the house still isn't selling?
So assuming you've
done it all. You've done everything you can.
You've done all of that, okay? Then you're listening to feedback, right? Because there's certain things you can change and there's certain things you can't change, right? So meaning like you can't change the location.
Right.
So if you have a not so desirable location, like you back up to a busy street.
Or the freeway.
We've had challenges where, people don't want to live anything backing up to Westlake Boulevard or Canaan.
Yeah, valid.
Right?
Yeah.
And they don't want to hear road noise. They don't want to be on the stop sign corner, right? Hearing the cars slow down, hearing the cars speed up. They don't want to have the lights flashing into their to their house as people are making a turn onto the street. There's a myriad of reasons location wise that you just can't change. And so your pool of buyers is going to narrow by, an exponential percentage just purely off your location. So your pool of buyers just got smaller. So now you're left with dealing with the location, and now you're dealing with the condition. You can always change the condition.
Right.
You can't change location.
Right.
You can change photos, you can change condition, but you can't change location. The other thing regarding condition is the design element in regards to, do you have steps, right? Can you open up walls? That's, I guess, really more condition at the same time, functionality. Right. And most homeowners are not going to just completely change the condition of their home in order to sell it.
Yeah.
Are they older, right? Who wants to live through construction? Right? Who wants to front that cost? right? Maybe you don't even have the money to do the complete remodel of what today's design elements are. So what do? You are either going to factor that into your price, and sometimes it's hard for homeowners to grasp that you're not going to get retail price because your house doesn't have today's retail design improvements.
Right.
So sometimes you have to let the homeowner, like, let that sit with them for a while before they come to a realization, okay, nobody has written an offer. It's time to reduce the price. But that ultimately hurts them in the long run, because when a listing comes on fresh and new, that's when all the eyeballs are on it.
Yeah.
And so as time goes on and more listings are coming on, it's getting buried in that feed of people swiping through again. They're swiping on new listings. They're not swiping on old listings.
Yeah.
So you're like, a forgotten, I don't know.
That's so
example,
sad.
Right? You're like a leaf blowing in the wind.
Oh, wow.
Type of listing. And so there's a couple of different tricks that you can do to kind of bring it back up into the feed. Right?
Well, that's what you did. You did with our house. I don't remember all of it, but I remember our house was on sale for it's a long time. And then I think my parents wanted to take it off, and then you came into the picture, and then you sold it in 5 seconds?
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we had to freshen that up, right? Like, I think your mom had this like dark formal living area. It was almost black.
It was black.
Yeah.
The best.
Okay,
best
so looks
room.
cool.
But not in photos.
But not in photos.
Right.
It's going to make that room look super small. And it's very stylistic.
Yeah.
Right? I think we also had a red room that we painted.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Her red formal dining room.
Yeah, it was cool.
We painted that. And then I think we changed the staging in the family room a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was hard for your mom to like accept that. Like, that's what we had to do.
But putting a black room on a photo like that, it's not gonna. Right. It looks different than in person.
So sometimes it just, sometimes it takes time for sellers to recognize that and trust a professional, right? Like myself, that's what it's going to take if you want your house sold and you want retail price. We got to get your house to look retail.
Right.
But the response usually is, well, it's just paint. They can just paint whatever color they want.
Right.
And no, when people pay retail, they want it done.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't go to the retail store and say they paint it, or they have it something different color. Oh, well, you can just change it. Pay us our price, but you can change it. And you're like, no, I'm paying you for what I want.
Yeah.
And so you have to do it as neutral as possible. And I always use the example. I say, look, the new developer doesn't build a house with just walls.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, they have model homes because what are they doing? They're painting a vision that they know drives decision. Right? So I think that's, what people have to understand on why their house is not selling. It's presentation and condition and, what do you want? Do you want retail price? Are you okay with a fair price? Like, what's the pricing strategy that was used? You have a lot of old school type of negotiation.
Yup.
Let's just price it high.
Yes.
And we're going to just wait for an offer because we know that they're going to offer less, and then we'll end up somewhere around here. All you're doing is just wasting time, honestly. Just price it where you want. And you just say no.
It's okay to say no.
It's okay to say no.
Yeah.
Right? So I think people need to understand, like, we're a lot more smarter now. The information's there. Like, they can look and get an idea of what's selling and where values are. So why am I going to just waste time?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. I just tell people, look, just say no.
Yeah.
They'll come up. If they want the house, they will come up. right? The house, I always tell my clients, the house is not worth what the buyer is willing to pay.
Mm-hmm.
The house is worth what you're willing to sell it for, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to sell it, then the house is worth what you're willing to sell it for. So, that's kind of what I share with them. And they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And it kind of changes because they're thinking, oh, well, whatever, the market is driven by what a buyer is willing to pay. No, the market is driven by what the seller is willing to sell it for. And if you don't want to sell it for X amount of price, then don't sell it, and just the market will catch up.
Interesting. So many things that you wouldn't think about why a house isn't selling.
Yeah, there's a few. And then, of course, I think the last thing is like how the agent is handling the sale, right? Like, how are they making it difficult for showings, right? Are they not available, right? Are they screening too much, right? Are they screening the people too much versus like letting them experience it, and maybe you can change the perception a little bit for them.
Interesting. We could probably have a whole other episode about this. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I think the art of showings, the art of pricing, the art of staging, the art of videography, the art of photography. I mean, it's all an art.
Cool. That's cool. That's a good way to end it.
All right, cool. Yeah, because I'm running out of coffee. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us on this episode of the 805 Life podcast. I'm Sergio Gonzalez with SG Associates with my co-host here, Courtney Allen. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, ring that bell, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.
See ya later.